Hey, what's up guys? My name's Chad, and today I want to talk about a couple of movies that I saw a few years ago. Ad Astra and Possessor. So these are both like sci-fi movies that are about a near future, and independently they're just both really great films, so if you haven't seen them, pause the video, go check them out. There will be massive spoilers in this. So both of these movies have a relatively simplistic hero's journey. You have a character who starts off in a slump, and then they overcome a bunch of challenges, and then they change by the end. Or at least that's the initial thrust of the films. Because they don't both end the same way, but they do use a really interesting framing device that's basically Blade Runner's Voight-Kampff test.
We call it Voight-Kampff for short.
So in the Blade Runner universe, the Voight-Kampff test is a test that they use to decide if someone is human or is something else. And both of the films introduce our characters using some kind of mental exam. And then we see it again at the end of the film to basically see how our characters changed. So let's kick off with the starting points, beginning with Ad Astra.
I'm calm, steady.
In that film, we start with Brad Pitt, who's playing Roy McBride. And when he takes this initial evaluation, he's just expressing that he's calm and collected and that he understands what's important in his life.
I am focused only on the essential to the exclusion of all else.
But what they did a cool job with is underscoring this with what they're showing us while he's giving the speech. And what they do show us is him and his wife becoming estranged.
I see myself from the outside.
Because Roy just cannot connect with people. That seems to be ultimately what his kind of sin or wound is just his inability to connect with other people.
Just don't touch me.
Including his wife.
Resting BPM 47. Submit.
But then he's sent on a mission to go find his father, who left a long time ago to go work on some kind of scientific mission.
My father's alive, sir?
The results of which may be galactically catastrophic. So after running into space monkeys and space pirates, he finally finds his father and reaches some sense of catharsis.
He could only see what was not there and missed what was right in front of him.
But then he has to journey back alone, and the trip is long.
I am looking forward to the day my solitude ends. And I'm home.
And then after reaching some resolution with his father and then spending so much time alone with his thoughts, he comes to the realization that he actually misses people. He's learned to appreciate the companies of others, and now we bookend the movie with him giving the same answers to the test, but now the context is completely different.
I'm steady, calm, I'm attentive. I am focused on the essential to the exclusion of all else.
In essence, Roy passes our Voight-Kampff test, and the results come out, he's human.
Submit.
So of course around the same time I also happened to see Possessor and noticed a really interesting similarity. That movie also opens with a character taking a mental exam, but the point of this mental exam is a little bit different. You see, in this universe there's a company called Possessor, and they hire in essence psychic assassins who go and murder people. In order to do this, they plant a chip in a fall guy and then possess the guy so that he can commit the murder so the company never gets implicated. So in this test, Voss is offered an assortment of items, some of them from her past and some of them random as false red herrings.
Sorry, I don't think I'm back yet.
But there's very cool detail about how she answers the test. At one point she's given a butterfly that's pinned.
I killed and mounted it one summer when I was a girl, and then I felt guilty about it. I still feel guilty about it.
So let's too put a pin in that. Much like Roy, she's also estranged from her husband. She's emotionally cold and distant. She has to rehearse just what she's going to say to her husband and her child.
Hi, darling. Hi, darling.
Well, I've been talking to Michael.
God, I'm absolutely starving. I am absolutely starving, Michael. Michael, I'm absolutely starving.
You told me yourself you'd become a danger.
Did I say that?
And the longer she does this job, the more difficulty she has just being present. But you can see a glimpse of her attempting to hold on to some form of her humanity.
We have food.
Good, I'm absolutely starving.
The mission eventually does come, and with her target set, she gets to work. And just like with Roy McBride, she has to overcome any difficulties that she runs in along the way until we get to the climax. Which is extremely harrowing. She loses control over the person that she's possessing, and that person ends up murdering her husband. While attempting to wrest control back, she's suddenly assassinated by her son. And before you get a chance to go, wait, that seems kind of weird, a young kid would just go up and stab a guy in the neck.
call me out?
It's revealed that her boss has possessed her son some amount of time ago, who knows? This is effed up. But when she wakes up, you'd expect her to be furious and to quit, right? But instead, we're greeted with the bookend of her doing the same test the same type of way.
This is my grandfather's pipe.
So now let's go back and unpin that point. The first time she describes the butterfly, she expresses her guilt. But this time, when shown the butterfly, all we get is this.
I killed and mounted it one summer when I was a little girl.
So over the course of the film, Voss takes her Voight-Kampff test, but by the end of the movie, instead of like with Roy, she fails, and she is no longer human. And hey, that's it. I think it's awesome. Essentially, both writers decided to use the Voight-Kampff test from Blade Runner in order to showcase whether or not their lead was human or not, even down to bookending the film with the same test with the same answers, which is already a pretty neat coincidence. But then on top of that, it's even cooler how these two movies use the Voight-Kampff test to express the exact opposite concept. And gosh darn it, I just think that's neat. I'm Chad, and until next time.